Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And it's time for Head to Headlines. You decide the content based on the headline alone. Remember, we'll never talk about the other story again. And today's, I got to say, is one of the toughest one in months because I really want to talk about both stories. And you're going to decide carefully on this one at 312-591-8300 which story you want to hear, headline 1 or headline 2. If you've never been on the show, never heard the show, been on the show, none of you have been on the show. If you've never heard the show.
Why do you gotta say it like that?
Wait, who's on the show? What's happening?
So it's Brian, Kenzie, and Case. That's the show.
And we're on the show.
And yeah, there's no one else around. This is us.
Okay.
There's no one even here. This is
Josie's not here anymore. I know people want her to come back.
They really
She wasn't
do.
fired. Don't get mad.
Nope. Kenzie really wanted Josie to stay.
I did. I like Josie.
Had to be a one or the other. We should have done head-to-headlines with Josie and Case.
I do not like that.
Ooh.
I'm looking at two people who I know who they would have voted for, and it's not me.
All right, so here we go.
Like Josie.
Yeah, she's a peach. Today's headlines, and you decide again. You text in 312-591-8300 headline 1 or headline 2. Which story we break down is up to you. Headline number 1: 250 million bees unleashed upon northern Washington after truck overturns. 250
That's my nightmare.
250 million bees?
I didn't know there were that many on the earth.
If you would have told me there was 250 million bees in America, I would have said, that sounds right.
I take
Imagine
the
being
under.
behind the truck and your windows are open. It's like, you just fry. It's a nice thing. You're like, woo, snow's finally gone.
First day, Kenzie takes the roof and the doors off her Jeep. Is that day?
Fudge. And you're not running faster than them. You're not like, let me just get out. Like, oh, you're toast.
I mean, that's almost a bee a person in the United States right there at 250 million.
God, that's crazy.
So it was only northern Washington.
I just can't get over. You don't know that's what's in that truck. So it flips and you're like, wow! You're like, oh my God. Like, you would have money, food. Remember when the Beanie Babies, what the hell?
I was going to say hammers.
Jumanji.
Yeah, there's probably hammers in the truck.
Gotta be something. It can't be bees. There's no way it's a bee truck.
Who's
What
hauling
is the
bees?
final destination?
I'm a long haul trucker. What do you haul? Bees.
Oh.
What do you work for an evil scientist? Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Phineas and Ferb?
Who ordered that many bees?
That's a hell of an Amazon order.
Who ordered that?
Kenzie, can you make your bee sting sound one more time?
It's like an electrocution at that point.
All right, so that we're almost breaking down the story without even doing it, but that's 250 million bees unleashed upon northern Washington after truck overturns. And I promised 2 tough headlines here, so don't text in yet. That's headline 1. If you like that, remember it. But headline 2, and we're never going to talk about the other story again. Headline 2. Maryland woman charged after allegedly hitting child on plane who called her Miss Piggy.
Oh my God. What is the deal with planes today? We got some issues.
A lot of stuff. Maryland woman charged after allegedly hitting child on plane who called her Miss Piggy.
She should be so lucky. Miss Piggy's a diva.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how he was using it. And he was or she was probably using it as a diva term, but also Miss Piggy's other accoutrement, other features of Miss Piggy.
I like that she allegedly hit him, but they for sure know that he called her Miss Piggy.
Yep, I heard it. Yep. All right, so now text in 312-591-8300, headline 1 or headline 2. Which story do you want to hear us break down after Nirvana? We'll get to it. We'll never talk about the other story again. Tough choice today. Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Wow, one of the toughest head-to-headlines in a while because 2 amazing headlines. We will never talk about the other one again that you didn't choose. You decide the content of the show, and the headlines were to choose from. And still adding up the votes. This is insane. Just about as many as tried to choose between Moana and the Goonies 45 minutes ago.
It's a democracy show. A lot of voting on here.
So, headline 1 was 250 million bees unleashed upon northern Washington after truck overturns. If you want to hear more about that story, you vote headline 1. Headline 2. Maryland woman charged after allegedly hitting child on plane who called her Miss Piggy. Now, remember, we say we'll never talk about it again, but we also get it scrubbed from Google. You can never even see this story again. It's gone. So, wow, what are the numbers, Case, on the text line?
It was so close, very reminiscent of a heated U.S. presidential election. But the winner of this week's headlines is headline number 1, the B story.
Wow.
I know. A lot of people wanted 2. A lot of people wanted 1. 1 just edged out 2.
Also, a lot of people said, please do both.
And we cannot do that. That would be against the law.
That's not the bit. That's not it. That's
What do
sorry.
you want me to tell them, Brian? To go F themselves? I mean, just tell you what they said.
Please tell them that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Please.
we would like you to bend over.
Sign Kenzie. Love Kenzie. Text back here. Love you. Bend over now. All right, so there we go. It's gone. So headline 1 wins. 250 million bees unleashed upon northern Washington after truck overturns, which I imagine it sounded something like Tommy Boy.
Bees! Bees! Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
Son, roll around. Do you hear me? Roll around on the ground.
Forget that! I'm starting to swell up! Save yourself! Don't be the hero!
Frank, I'm allergic to bees. Me too.
They're huge and they sting crazy!
We'll come back later and check on you. In a while.
Save yourself! Your firearms are useless against them!
Holy shnikes, it worked.
Oh, holy shnikes, it worked. All right,
So that would have been me behind the truck.
right. Well, here we go. This is the headline you chose. 250 million bees unleashed upon northern Washington after truck overturns. We were all very curious about how many bees. Like, that's almost a bee a person in the United States, and it was just in northern Washington. And in case you also just did a little Google search from the song, in case we did this story, there's 20,000 just bee species.
Just bee species. Now, I tried to figure out how many total bees there are in the U.S. Google told me there were 2.51 million colonies. So then I Googled, well, how many bees are in a colony? And it said up to 60,000 bees per colony.
Oh, God.
So I did the math on my phone calculator, but
It goes too far. You can't figure out what number it is.
Well,
Well, like, you don't know how to say the number? I hate when that happens.
it gave me letters. It says,
Oh, my God.
it says 1.506E11. What's E?
I don't know, eternity? Like, it never ends?
So I thought the whole thing was that the bees were dying. Turns out we might have too many bees.
Well, we can't have too many bees. I will say this: we need bees to live. When the bee population goes down on Earth, we're all gonna die because of the pollination that they do.
It's called Euler's number. EULERS. Okay, Euler's number,
You
and it's
explain it, Kenzie, before we get to the story.
yes, it's an irrational number, meaning it cannot be expressed in a simple fraction. Like, it's so big. I guess I don't.
Thanks.
Kind of like that. It stands for eternity. Like, it's just not
Sort
gonna
of
end.
petered off at the end there.
So
Well, I'm
it's,
like, why can't it be expressed? Just say what it is.
Oh, it's irrational.
Say like a gajillion. Like, just say it.
yep. All right, so there's a lot of bees. It's a lot of bees, and we need them. But here we go. In Linden, Washington, emergency officials have been busy, as well. You know. Oh, funny writer in the story. Busy as bees, you see? That's a phrase. Anybody else get, no? Okay. Cleaning up after a commercial truck full of beehives. It crashed in northern Washington, unleashing 250 million bees on first responders. Oh, my God. So they had the hives they were taking with all the bees in it. They're just chilling, going like, I guess we're going on vacation. Mm-hmm. And then it crashes, and they go, well, we're getting the hell out of this truck.
They're like, we're getting a refund on this travel experience to that much.
I remember, Frank the bee going to the other guy, like Fred the bee, saying, wait till the first person I see out of this damn crash rock, I'm going to sting the hell out of that person. The truck overturned on Weed Camp Road around 4 a.m.
Oh, my God. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Could you just imagine working like an overnight shift? And you got to be like, at a certain point, like, God hates me.
You're like a nurse who's been up for 26 hours in a row. Surely this isn't 250 million bees attacking me right now.
Yeah.
I must be hallucinating.
Certainly, I don't have to go back to the hospital that I just left for working.
I just want to go to the diner and get an omelet. Oh, I can't wait. I've been driving for 17 hours. It's 4 a.m., almost there to Linden, just south of the Canadian border. Okay, a massive response of deputies, public works officials, and several bee experts were called to the scene. Now, I think it'd be great to be a bee expert. but I still don't want that call where I'm useful at 4 a.m.
The emergency bee phone sitting by your bedside table.
Well, I'd imagine it's never rang before. Like, what are you gonna? I don't know. Why would you be needed that often? I would hate to be a bee expert. Do you know how many interactions you have to have with bees to be a bee expert?
I mean, true, but then again, it's your life's work and you want to be useful. So wouldn't that be a great time to go, all of a sudden you're on TV?
But your life's work is to interact with these. If I see one like outside, I'm like, oh God. Like, I don't want to see one across the park. It's like a problem.
Well, you wouldn't be a good bee expert.
No.
So the 70,000 pounds of honey beehives on board came off the truck, unleashing. So wait, they worked on the thing for a while. It says that happened at 9 a.m. So the truck crashed and everything was kind of fine. Then when they took the hives off the truck, it unleashed the 250 million bees. They should have left them on the truck and just they never ran that road again. They should have blocked that road off with concrete.
Where was this go? Who ordered this many bees?
We're not there yet. We're not there yet in the story. But they were fine at 4
Winnie the
a.m.
Pooh is like on the who ordered this?
He like fell off the wagon. He's relapsing. He's like, I gotta get these bees.
I have some jars, baby.
Now, here's the Facebook post that happened at 9 a.m. when they unleashed them all by accident, it seems like. 250 million bees are now on the loose, the Whatcom County Sheriff's deputies posted on Facebook. All caps, avoid the area due to potential of bee escape and swarming.
Swarming?
Swarming.
It's a highway. What are you going to avoid the area?
I'd rather get shot than swarmed.
Let me think about that for a second.
What are you supposed to do? There's nothing you can do to get them off of you. They're just everywhere.
I mean, if you're shot, one person is probably doing it.
Yeah.
So you'd at least
You
see.
could try to hide from them. You know what I mean? You could, you could, I don't know, maybe light yourself on fire, I guess, and get the bees off of you.
Yeah, I
But
could
then
do
you're on fire. That sucks too.
Right, a whole other, can of worms.
You can't do a killer crossover to a swarm to avoid them. They're going to get you.
In The Matrix, they couldn't have dove out of the way of a bee sting. They can dive out of the way of bullets, but not a bee sting.
Here's the other quote from the Facebook page of the police when this happened. Master beekeepers are on the scene, and others are on the way to assist in resetting the box hives. Are you kidding me? They got to get these bees back. How many beekeepers certainly were in the area or bee experts
Listen,
to get there?
This isn't usually my take, but bomb them. Are you kidding me? That's not usually my go-to, but I think you have to start over. That's bad stuff.
This is the terrifying part, almost the end of the story here. The plan, and this is all on Facebook they put, the plan is to allow the bees to rehive and find their queen bee. That should occur within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Looks like I'm going to be busy.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
We have music entertainment news on the way in about 4 minutes with Morrissey tickets. Announced that show. We'll talk about that, among other things, in music entertainment news. But we just had the headlines, where the headline story you chose us to break down. We do it every Wednesday. We start at 8:20, give you two of the funniest headlines of the week, and then you decide the content of the show based on the headline alone, and we'll never talk about the other story again. The one you chose was 250 million bees unleashed upon northern Washington after truck overturns. Now, we finished the story pretty much. There's a little bit on the ending you got to hear about in a second, but a lot of people chiming in on this. Got to give it props to our first-time texter, Chris checking in, Chris Schneider from Homewood, who said, I wonder if that person who decided to become a bee expert originally wanted that profession, or it was their plan B.
Oh, gosh.
Boo!
Get ready for another one. This one came from 847 checking in. Charity, you really have to be careful when calling bee experts. All the ones I know went to school and were bee students.
Boo!
Case, you're just not fun. Matt texted in and said, if I'm working the midnight shift and I'm tired and I'm driving home during morning rush and that many bees are on the loose, I'm just driving into a lake.
Clearly. We also had a math person check in and Case did, we're trying to figure out how many bees there were. And when Case did it on his calculator on his iPhone, this E letter came up, and Kenzie explained that E, but it didn't get us to the final answer. There were 2.5 million bee hives multiplied by 60 bees.
By 60,000 bee colonies.
Yeah, that's right. So it
Yes.
should be, this is only U.S. or is this the world?
This is U.S. I only did domestic bees.
150 billion.
Tasted legal bees
Yeah, I
that
did
are
legal bees.
born
I
on
need to see some
soil.
paperwork.
Can they fly over the borders without papers?
Hey, not on my watch they
Hey,
can't.
hey.
Hey, we're taking care of that right now.
Wait, is there a division of ICE for bees?
There's going to be. That's in that new bill that got passed.
Well, that would be the only one to be approved.
They call it hives. What? Swarm.
Wow.
Swarm. Not good.
150 billion bees. Now, Cody checked in, Cody the door guy checked in and said, I used to live in that county where that happened. He says there are, quote, plenty of weirdos that like bees out there. I don't know if that was an Amazon order for 250 million bees. There had to be a purpose. Also, back to the story, this isn't the first bee truck accident in the area. So to Cody's point, he might be right. In 2015, a truck carrying 40 million bees, a paltry 40 million,
Chump change.
was involved in a wreck on Interstate 5 in a northern Seattle suburb, unleashing a chaotic cloud of angry bees upon commuters and first responders. So if they thought that was bad using that verbiage, what about 250 million bees on the first responders? Not good.
Oh my God! What that has to do to your home value when a bee gets out, that's bad for the whole community.
Well, not all 250 are coming back. 250 million. You know what I mean? So there's let's say a million decide not to go back to the queen, to Kenzie, the queen bee.
I'm swamped. I just imagine them all at Soldier Field waiting for Beyonce to come out.
Yeah. You know, Kenzie being the queen bee, they're all like, listen, I've had enough of her. She's always ordering me around, massage her feet.
What's the queen supposed to do?
Well, that's what they do, but I'm thinking out of 250 million, there might be a million that might be dissatisfied.
We want equality.
Disgruntled. They're going to go it on their own and try to find food on their own. I don't even know if you provide food as the queen bee. Is that why they stay with the queen bee? Does the queen bee provide food?
No, she's like a manager.
Is it like a breastfeeding? Is that what you're asking? If it's like a breastfeeding situation?
No, they don't breastfeed. Oh my God.
That'd be a lot of bees to breastfeed.
Well, maybe they breastfeed honey.
Okay, here's what it is. The queen bee's primary roles in the bee colony are to lay eggs. How about that? You want that job, Kenzie?
Period.
And also regulate colony behavior through pheromones.
AKA run that ish. Okay.
So imagine Kenzie's pheromones and
No, thank you.
take the temperature of that beehive.
Regulators.
Not good. Not good. So there you go.
Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
Son, roll around. Did you hear me? Roll around on the ground.
Forget that! I'm starting to swell up! Save yourself! Don't be the hero!
Frank, I'm allergic to bees. Me too.
They're huge and they sting crazy!
We'll come back later and check on you. Yeah, in a while.
Save yourself! Your firearms are useless against them!
All right, Morrissey tickets coming up. Music entertainment news after Sum 41. Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We do have some Morrissey tickets coming up. That show announced. We'll give you all the information about the show at the Aragon. And the tickets coming up at the end of music and entertainment news. Well, I promise this isn't a spoiler for White Lotus. I have completed that, and Kenzie's in the middle of the last season, season 3. It's pretty wild. A lot of mixed results. I thought it was incredible, like season 1 and 2. I'm a White Lotus fanatic. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Patrick, is in it, and he gets naked in there. Again, not a spoiler, because I think you couldn't avoid that no matter where you are. And you've seen him. You're past the naked episodes, right, Kenzie?
I don't know how many more times he gets naked. I am in the middle of White Lotus season 3. I'm probably on episode, I would think 3. It's hard. They're so long, I forget.
Yeah. This is not a big spoiler because you've seen him naked. He's going to get naked again. There's going to be more naked.
Why is he
very
naked?
pervy, so that doesn't surprise me.
Is he just naked because he's pervy?
Well,
Yes.
that will give a spoiler. He is pervy.
Okay.
But also, I don't want to give more because it could spoil something.
Okay.
It doesn't take long to figure out he's a pervert. It happens really fast.
Clocked it early? Okay, got it.
Nothing surprising there.
So this audio is both of them. So it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, his dad, and Patrick Schwarzenegger. And they're talking about Arnold seeing his son naked and wasn't expecting what he saw. in White Lotus when he saw it, and here they are.
It had nothing to do really with the muscles. It was more with leather jackets on and clothes and playing a machine. Only the opening scene was naked.
Yeah.
Talking about naked.
I've done it.
I couldn't believe. I said to myself, I'm watching your show and I'm watching you with your butt sticking out there. And all of a sudden I see the weenie. And it's...
He said, you see the weenie? So Arnold is talking about he got naked in the Terminator when the opening scene, you see him naked, remember?
You see his butt.
You see his butt. But that's how he said when I saw your show. I was saying to myself,
I'm watching your show and I'm watching you with your butt sticking out there. And all of a sudden I see the weenie. And I said to myself, what is going on here? I mean, this is crazy. And then I said to myself, well, Arnold, hello.
God, the weenie.
You did the same thing in Conan and in Terminator and all of those films. You were naked, so don't complain about it. But it was kind of like a shock to me that you would follow my footsteps that closely.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. Let's take it.
so you haven't seen that part, Kenzie, but you are going to see the weenie.
Ugh, I don't want to see his. He is doing a very good job in his role where, like, I really don't like him. I don't know if I could like him in something else after this, you know, like when a villain's like a villain. He's driving me insane.
I agree that I don't know him from anything else, even though he has done a lot. So when you see him in White Lotus, he plays, you know, I guess the lack of a better term, a douchebag better than anybody else.
I mean, his name is Saxon. Like, he's just crap. It's just like, oh, God.
The weenie.
Believe I said to myself, I'm watching your show and I'm watching you with your butt sticking out there. And all of a sudden I see the weenie.
I recommend White Lotus. And you don't have to start with one, but you probably should because there are some callbacks. So it would be helpful if you started at season 1, 2, 3.
I would say, especially this season, holy crap. Everyone said you don't have to watch from season 1. Now that I'm on season 3, I think you absolutely do.
It's way more helpful in season 3, and it's somewhat helpful in 2.
The things that they're dropping on you when you run into other people and you're like, damn, oh my God, you wouldn't even know who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could watch anything without watching from the beginning, but everyone made it sound like it wasn't a big deal, and it totally is. There are so many, like, Easter eggs of, like, drama. The drama that's happening right now in White Lotus season 3 wouldn't be drama if I hadn't watched the previous seasons.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Right. I watched 2 before 1, and I could pull it off because Megan gave me a little bit of a precursor on, you know, but it would have been better if I probably watched 1 first.
Right, because now you've seen 1, right?
Yeah.
And wasn't it so much more juicy now? You're like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge.
Other entertainment news coming up. F1, that movie is coming out. And the director, you know, Brad Pitt is in this movie F1, and F1 racing obviously is on the rise and one of the biggest sports in the world. And this movie looks incredible. And he said, quote, the director, I needed Brad Pitt instead of Tom Cruise, which Tom Cruise would have made great sense because he has raced cars in his life with Paul Newman. If you've seen the movie The Color of Money, they went and became race partners for a while. And Tom Cruise, pretty nuts, obviously, in the Mission Impossible movies.
Insane.
Well, that's why he said that. He said we couldn't use Tom Cruise because he probably would have killed himself. Because he would have insisted on doing all of the stunts himself. And even though he jumps off planes in Mission Impossible, and there's a submarine thing going on in the new one, right? You said,
yeah, I saw the new Mission Impossible 2 weeks ago. Absolutely blew my mind. Everybody's making a bunch of noise, and rightfully so, about Tom Cruise literally jumping out of planes. But he's also in a submarine for about a half hour, and it's absolutely terrifying.
It's more than ever, the Tom Cruise stuff has polluted my timeline of the stunts that he's doing, because it always does whenever a Mission Impossible movie comes out.
You got to see it. You got to go see the new one. You won't believe what he does in it.
They're all dead. My whole crew, they're dead. I don't know the whole plot, but yeah, but he said that's why he chose Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt's like, yeah, you know what? We have stuntmen for a reason. Use that CGI. I'm going to go to my trailer and eat a cheese tray or something. I'm not going to do those stunts.
Kenzie, have you seen the trailer for the F1 movie? Do you care about it at all?
The F1 movie?
Yes. Yeah.
What is it, like driving?
Yes. Yeah, it's like driving. God, that was upsetting.
It's like when you drive from downtown from way 48 miles away to downtown. That's what F1 racing is. Kenzie on the Jane Addams and the Kennedy.
No, I haven't seen a lot about it.
Okay, all right.
Because she lives it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait to watch. I'm not
When
even
does it come out?
End of June, last Friday in June. I'm going to go opening night. I can't wait for it.
I'll tell you what I am doing next Tuesday. So what's today? Wednesday? So less than a week. Okay. I'm seeing that movie with Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson.
Oh, I'm into that too.
I cannot wait. Where she's the billionaire matchmaker. That I'm into.
Wait, what is that movie? What's that
She's
called?
a billionaire matchmaker.
Got it. Wondering about
And
the
then
name.
her ex comes back into the picture, and I'm like, for once, bitch. For once, go with the billionaire. It's Pedro Pascal as a billionaire. Pick him.
The movie is called Materialists, and it looks very good. It looks like an old school rom-com in the way that we used to enjoy them.
I'm so excited to see it.
Look, we like movies. We like going to the theater. Go to your local theater. I know prices have risen, but it's still an experience, an escape that I personally discovered more recently, getting back to the Avengers and the Final Destination movies, and it's awesome to go to the theater and it's a true escape that we've forgotten about. We think, I can watch it at home. Why would I go do that? I got a surround sound. I got everything I need here. No. Go to a theater. Escape. Like going to the Aragon Saturday, September 27th. Case's favorite artist. Again, a 75-year-old man in a 26-year-old body. Morrissey is coming to the Aragon. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m., but we got free ones right now. 312-591-8300. Caller 10 from our great friends at Jam Productions. You got tickets for Morrissey if you call right now, 312-591-8300.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Lauren's on her way in. And remember, tomorrow at this time, we'll be continuing Ticket Blitz Thursday. We'll launch it at 8. Dave Matthews Band. And it's been a minute with Ticket Blitz Thursday because Fest took over our world for a month and a half of giving you to the trips to the greatest festivals in the world, and Riot Fest, which is the greatest one here in Chicago. Now we're back to Ticket Blitz Thursday, 8 a.m. it starts. Dave Matthews Band tickets all day long tomorrow. Make sure you're with us starting at 8. Brian and Kenzie on Q101 with your takeaways from today's show. Case, what do you got?
Takeaway from Marco in quotations. Why don't we end this slavery thing and sit down with some milk and cookies?
That was said on the show this morning.
And who said it?
I think Kenzie said it.
That would be Brian.
Oh, I said it. That's right.
I just said that Oreos would be a good example of why black and white can work in perfect harmony.
Well, listen, you go back to the podcast, you get the full conversation. That's why we do takeaways.
A full discussion on race this morning.
Involving Oreo cookies.
That's right.
Kenzie, what do you got from the listeners?
Juan's takeaway, F1 is like driving?
Really upsetting.
And finally, Joe checked in, 630, takeaway. 250 million bees? Son of a bitch.
Jonas, son of a bitch.
All right, Case, what's on the podcast?
It is such a good day on the podcast. Of course, we did have an update in the Aldi cookie lawsuit. That is how we started talking about when Oreos existed, how there wouldn't have been a civil war if they had Oreos, and why Oreos are how we should strive for our race relations in this country. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. Also, Kinsley lamented her marriage. She's very sad that she's with her husband and not a billionaire. She chose love over money, and that was a mistake. We had a huge Moana-based argument on the show this morning, nearly tore the show apart. I think we'll all be back tomorrow, but Moana really brought up some strong feelings. Oh.
Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back.
Tomato, no good. Also on the podcast, final thing we've got, one of my favorite head-to-head lines we've done in quite some time. An absolute doozy of a head-to-head lines. If you're wondering where that bee comment came from, it came there. Absolutely fantastic. Brian and Kenzie podcast, you won't want to miss that.
I want to do one more takeaway from Marshall checking in 815. Takeaway, Kenzie wanted to be a bored bitch, but married for love instead. Facts.
Damn it.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.